Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that often tells us to compromise, to settle, to take the easy route. We are told that success is about finding the middle ground, about making peace with the circumstances and accepting things as they are. But let me tell you something tonight. There's a difference between compromising for your dream and compromising on your dream. And that difference can determine whether you rise to the heights of your potential or stay stuck in the shadows of what could have been. I want you to understand something right from the start. The journey towards your dreams will not be easy. It will not always be smooth, it will not always be fair, and it will not always be comfortable. The world will test you. People will test you. Life will test you. And in those moments when the road gets rough, when the obstacles seem insurmountable, and when doubt creeps into your mind, that's when you will need to decide, will you compromise for your dream or will you compromise on it? You see, compromise is a part of life. It's part of every relationship, every business deal, every challenge you face. Sometimes you have to bend, sometimes you have to adjust. Sometimes you have to find a way to meet in the middle. That's what keeps the world moving forward. But there is a fine line between compromise and surrender. When it comes to your dreams, you must be willing to bend, to adjust, to make sacrifices. But never, ever should you surrender. Never should you lower the bar of your vision. Never should you settle for less than what you are truly capable of. Your dreams are yours for a reason. They are unique to you, tailored to your talents, your purpose, and your potential. There are people who will try to tell you to lower your expectations, to make peace with what is, to accept the status quo. But let me tell you, there's no room for complacency in the pursuit of greatness. You cannot afford to let others determine the size of your dreams. You cannot allow anyone to dictate how far you are meant to go. Your dream is not theirs to negotiate. Now, I want you to hear this loud and clear: compromise for your dream. Yes, compromise on your dream. No, what do I mean by that? I mean, this is you walk the path towards your goal, you'll have to make adjustments. You may have to work a little harder than others. You may have to take a job you don't particularly like just to make ends meet. You might have to sacrifice some comfort, some leisure, some sleep. You may have to give up certain things that others don't have to. But those are sacrifices for your dream, not on your dream. These are investments in your future. But there will also be moments, critical moments, where the world will try to make you believe that your dream is not worth the cost. There will be those moments when you feel like giving up, when the pain and exhaustion are too much to bear, when the doubt in your own heart gets louder than the passion that drove you in the first place. And it is in those moments, the hardest moments, that you will be tempted to compromise on your dream. You will be tempted to shrink your vision, to lower your standards, to accept mediocrity. And that's the moment you have to fight. That's the moment you have to remember why you started. Because if you compromise on your dream, if you allow the world to convince you that it's too big, too much, too hard, then you've lost. Let me be clear, dreams are not for the faint of heart. Dreams are not for those who want to play it safe, those who want to stay in their comfort zones. Your dream requires everything from you. Your dream requires sacrifice. Your dream demands discipline. Your dream demands focus. But most importantly, your dream demands that you never lose sight of it. Never let it slip through your fingers because someone told you it was impossible, or because you faced failure, or because the road got rough. Success doesn't come overnight, and neither do the rewards of your dreams. Sometimes you have to go through pain. You have to go through setbacks. You have to face rejection, failure, and frustration. And you will feel like quitting. You will want to quit. You'll ask yourself, is this worth it? You'll feel like nobody sees your struggle. You'll feel like you're all alone. But here's the truth, you're not alone. In those moments of doubt, those are just the tests that separate those who want something from those who are willing to fight for it. The fight for your dreams is not for the weak. But hear me when I say it is possible. You are capable of it. You have within you everything you need to succeed, everything you need to turn your dream into reality. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. The road may be long, but the destination will be everything you've ever hoped for and more. But only if you refuse to compromise on your dream. You'll have to fight the people who will try to talk you out of it. You'll have to fight your own fears and insecurities. You'll have to fight the temptation to take shortcuts, to take the easy way out, to just settle for something less. Because settling is the enemy of greatness. Settling is the enemy of your dream. And the moment you start to settle is the moment you start to lose. Never let the world dictate the limits of your dream. Never let others tell you what you are capable of. You are the only one who knows the fire that burns within you. You are the only one who knows the passion, the drive, and the purpose that fuels your ambition. Hold on to that. Don't let anyone take it from you. At times, you may feel like you're going in circles. You may feel like you're putting in the work but not seeing the results. But let me tell you, the results will come. They will come because your effort compounds. Your sacrifice compounds. Your commitment to your dream compounds. And when the time is right, when you've put in the work and faced the challenges, when you've refused to settle and compromised only when necessary, your moment will come. It will all come together, and you will look back and realize that every ounce of pain, every struggle, every hardship was worth it. You're going to have days when the weight feels heavy, when the doubts crowd your mind, when you question whether you're cut out for this. But I want you to remember this: when it feels hardest, when you feel like you can't take one more step, that's exactly when you need to push the hardest. That's when you need to dig deeper, because the strength you need is already inside you. You don't have to find it. You just have to believe in it. You have to trust that you are strong enough, capable enough, and worthy enough to pursue your dream. You see, every single person who has ever achieved greatness has faced obstacles. They face setbacks. They face criticism. They face failure. But what separates those who make it from those who don't is their refusal to compromise on their dream. They might have been along the way. They might have taken a detour. They might have faced hardship, but they never gave up. They never settled. They kept their eyes on the prize, and they kept moving forward. And so must you. As you move forward, remember that every step counts. Every decision counts. Every moment that you feel like giving up is another moment to rise. Don't let the world convince you that your dream is too big. Don't let your own doubts convince you that you're not worthy of it. Compromise for your dream, yes. Be willing to make the hard choices. Be willing to sacrifice. But never, ever compromise on it. Keep that dream alive. Keep your vision clear. And when the world tells you to quit, tell them, I'm just getting started. You've got this. Stay the course. Never stop believing in yourself, and never, ever compromise on your dream. It's important to make sacrifices and adjustments on the way to achieving your goals, but never lower or give up on your ultimate vision. While you might need to bend in certain situations, never compromise the core of your dream. Achieving your dreams requires hard work, perseverance, and a willingness to face setbacks, rejection, and failure. It's not a smooth journey, but the struggles are part of what makes success meaningful. Success comes from refusing to settle for less than you're capable of. Mediocrity is the enemy of greatness. It's crucial to push through the tough moments and avoid the temptation to lower your expectations. Doubts and obstacles will come, but your belief in your dream and your commitment to keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible, will determine whether you succeed. Persistence is key to turning your vision into reality. Every step counts, and hardships are part of the process. Every effort, every sacrifice, and every challenge is a part of your growth. The journey toward your dream is a series of small steps, and the difficulties you face along the way are what prepare you for the success you're destined for. Keep pushing, even when it feels hardest. Compromise for your dream, not on your dream. In the pursuit of your dreams, you will inevitably face decisions that test your resolve. Life will present situations where you must choose between holding firm to your vision and adjusting your approach to meet the reality of the world around you. There will be moments when the pressure to compromise will feel overwhelming. But there's an important distinction to make: compromising for your dream versus compromising on your dream. The first is a necessary part of growth and progress. The second is a trap that could derail everything you've worked so hard for. Compromise, in its essence, is not a bad thing. It's often necessary in life to find balance, to collaborate with others, and to adjust when things don't go according to plan. The ability to bend without breaking is an important skill, and sometimes making strategic adjustments is the only way to move forward. But compromising on your dream, letting go of the core of what you truly want, or lowering your standards to meet a lesser reality, that's where the danger lies. When you compromise on your dream, you sacrifice the very thing that motivates you, the thing that fuels your passion and gives you purpose. There is a moment in every ambitious person's journey when the dream feels too far away, when the obstacles seem insurmountable, and when the path forward is unclear. It's in these moments when you feel like you're losing ground that the temptation to compromise on your dream becomes strong. You'll be asked, whether overtly or subtly, to settle for something less. The world will make it seem like your dream is too big, too impossible, too out of reach. People will tell you to be realistic or to just be happy with what you have. And you may be tempted to listen. You might convince yourself that it's easier to lower your expectations than to continue fighting for something that feels unattainable. But here's the truth. Every time you choose to compromise on your dream, you diminish its power. You weaken your vision and your sense of purpose. You rob yourself of the possibility of achieving greatness. When you compromise on your dream, you are essentially telling yourself that it's not worth the struggle, that you're not capable of making it happen. And that's not just a setback, it's a betrayal of everything you are meant to become. On the other hand, compromising for your dream means making adjustments that don't diminish the dream itself, but help you move closer to it. It means being willing to adapt, to learn, to stretch and grow in ways that allow you to keep moving forward. When you compromise for your dream, you might have to take on a second job to finance your passion, or work long hours to gain the experience you need. You might have to let go of some comforts, make some sacrifices, and take a detour or two along the way. But in doing so, you're not letting go of the dream itself. You're simply aligning your efforts with the realities of the situation and taking the necessary steps to build the life you envision. The key difference is that compromise for your dream is temporary, strategic, and focused on the end goal, while compromise on your dream is a permanent shift in your vision, a concession that your dream is not worth the fight. In the long run, the sacrifices you make for your dream will pay off. They will build your character, your resilience, and your ability to face challenges head on. But when you compromise on your dream, you lock yourself into a life of mediocrity, where you are always wondering what might have been. One of the first steps in achieving your dreams is understanding that the path will not be straightforward. There will be detours, setbacks, and delays. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't happen according to the timeline you've set for yourself. But just because things aren't going as planned doesn't mean you should give up on the dream itself. Sometimes, achieving your dream requires flexibility. You might need to change your approach, seek new opportunities, or make a difficult decision. That's compromise for the sake of your dream, but never let those obstacles force you to lower your standards. Abandon your vision or let go of what you've always wanted. There will be people who try to talk you out of your dreams. They'll say things like it's too hard, or you'll never make it, or that's just not realistic. And if you listen to them, you might start to believe that their limited vision is your truth. But here's the reality. Those people don't have the same dream you have. They don't have the same passion, the same vision, or the same determination to make it happen. Their doubts are reflections of their own limitations, not yours. So when people try to convince you to compromise on your dream, remember that their words aren't your truth. Your truth is your dream, and you have the power to make it a reality. The truth is that every dream worth pursuing will require a level of discomfort. Growth doesn't come from staying in your comfort zone. Your dream will challenge you, stretch you, and demand more from you than you ever thought possible. It will test your resolve. It will demand that you face your fears, overcome your doubts, and push through the hard times. But none of this means that your dream is not worth it. The struggle is part of the process. The work is part of the journey. And when you are willing to keep pushing, keep striving, and keep moving forward despite the difficulties, you'll find that your dream begins to take shape. At times, you may feel like you're not making progress. You might feel like you're putting in the effort but not seeing the results you expect. The road to success is often slow and filled with setbacks, and it's easy to get discouraged. But in these moments, remember that every step you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to your dream. Even when it feels like you're not moving forward, the work you're doing is building the foundation for your success. Trust the process. Trust that every sacrifice you make, every decision you face, and every challenge you overcome is bringing you closer to the life you envision. When you compromise for your dream, you are making a conscious choice to invest in your future. Every sacrifice, every hard decision, and every hour of effort you put into your dream is an investment in yourself. It's a commitment to something greater than the immediate comfort or satisfaction you might find elsewhere. It's choosing the long-term reward over short-term gratification. And that's how you build something real. That's how you create a life of meaning and purpose. Think of it this way. The greatest accomplishments in history were not achieved by people who played it safe, who took the easy route, or who were willing to compromise on their vision. The people who changed the world were the ones who refused to give up on their dreams, even when the odds were stacked against them. They were the ones who kept pushing, even when others told them to quit. They were the ones who understood that true success comes from sticking to your vision, no matter the obstacles. The key to fulfilling your dreams is your willingness to keep moving forward, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. There will be times when you question your path, when you wonder if the sacrifices are worth it, and when you think about giving up. But when those moments come, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of the vision you have and the future you are working toward. And those moments, ask yourself, am I willing to compromise for my dream? Or will I compromise on it? Compromise for your dream means acknowledging that the road ahead may not always be easy. It means understanding that you might have to make some difficult choices, that you might have to work harder than others, or that you might have to make sacrifices along the way. But those sacrifices are investments that will pay off. They will help you grow. They will build your character. And they will bring you closer to your dream. But never compromise on your dream. Never settle for less than what you're capable of. Never allow doubt, fear, or failure to convince you that your dream is too big or too out of reach. When you compromise on your dream, you give up on the very thing that makes you who you are. And in that moment, you lose. But when you compromise for your dream, you set yourself up for success. You push past the barriers, you learn from the setbacks, and you emerge stronger and more determined than ever. So whatever you do, never compromise on your dream. Keep fighting for it. Keep working toward it. And never let go of the vision you have for your future, because your dream is worth the fight, and you are worth the effort it takes to achieve it. The path to success is not easy. In fact, it is often long, winding, and filled with more obstacles than you could ever anticipate. Many people dream of success, but few are willing to face the hard truths about what it truly takes to achieve it. The road to success is paved with struggle, discomfort, setbacks, and failure, but it is also built on resilience, perseverance, learning, and growth. If you want to succeed, you must be ready to face those challenges head on, knowing that every step you take, no matter how difficult, is one step closer to your goal. Success is not a straight line. It's rarely a smooth, linear journey. Instead, success often looks like a series of twists and turns, peaks and valleys, moments of progress followed by moments of frustration. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like. It's tempting to look around and compare yourself to others, to see their seemingly perfect paths and wonder why your own journey seems so much harder. But let me tell you, the struggle is part of the process. The difficulty is what makes success so rewarding. It is the fire that forges your character, strengthens your resolve, and sharpens your skills. The truth is, success is not about avoiding failure. It's about learning how to fail and get back up again. It's about resilience. Every time you fall, you have a choice. You can stay down or you can rise again, stronger and more determined. Success doesn't belong to the person who never fails, but to the person who keeps going despite the failures. In fact, each failure teaches you something essential: what works and what doesn't, where you need to grow and what you need to improve. If you allow yourself to learn from failure, it becomes a stepping stone rather than a roadblock. One of the most difficult parts of the journey is dealing with setbacks. You can have a clear vision of where you want to go, work tirelessly toward that vision, and still face moments where everything seems to fall apart. It's easy to feel defeated in those moments. You can't help but wonder if all the work you've put in is for nothing. or if you're not cut out for success after all. But let me tell you this, setbacks don't define you, they refine you. It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you respond to it. When you encounter a setback, it's an opportunity to demonstrate your perseverance. It's an invitation to dig deeper, to show your commitment to your vision, and to prove that you are willing to go through the hard times in order to achieve greatness. Sometimes the hardest part is not the external obstacles, but the internal ones, the voices of doubt and fear that live inside of you. The doubts that tell you that you're not good enough, that you'll never make it, that you're wasting your time. It's easy to listen to those voices. After all, they seem so convincing. They tell you that you're not capable, that you don't have what it takes, or that you're too far behind to catch up. But let me remind you, those voices are not the truth, they're simply the noise of your fears. And your fears only have power if you allow them to. The key to success is learning how to shut out those doubts, to trust in your abilities, and to keep moving forward despite the fear. When you silence your inner critic and take action in spite of your doubts, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears. Another aspect of success that many people underestimate is the sheer amount of work it takes to reach your goals. Success is not something that happens by chance. It is the result of consistent effort day in and day out. There is no magic formula, no secret shortcut. The people who achieve success are the ones who are willing to put in the work, even when it's hard, even when it seems like no one is noticing, and even when the results are not immediate. Success requires discipline, commitment, and an unwavering focus on your goals. It means waking up every day with a sense of purpose, putting in the effort, and doing what it takes to keep moving forward, even when the finish line feels miles away. There will be days when you feel tired, when you feel like giving up, when the effort seems like too much. But remember, success is built on consistency. It's about doing the right things over and over again, even when you don't feel like it. The work you put in today may not pay off tomorrow, but it will pay off in time. People often look at successful individuals and see the finished product, the accolades, the recognition, the rewards. But what they don't see is the grind, the sacrifices, and the countless hours of hard work that went into getting there. They don't see the nights spent working when everyone else was asleep, the weekends spent honing skills, the failures, the rejections, and the moments of doubt. Success is not glamorous in the moment. It's messy, it's tiring, and it often feels thankless. But if you're willing to endure that struggle, if you're willing to put in the work without expecting instant rewards, you'll come to realize that the process is what builds the foundation of true success. One of the greatest tests you will face on the path to success is the temptation to quit. The journey will get tough, and you'll be pushed to your limits. You'll experience disappointment, frustration, and moments when you feel like you're running on empty. It's in those moments that the temptation to quit will be strongest. But here's the thing, success is not about avoiding those moments. It's about pushing through them. The ability to keep going when everything inside of you is telling you to stop is what sets successful people apart. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is not talent, luck, or opportunity. It's the willingness to endure when things are hard. You must also understand that success often comes after a period of struggle and hardship. There are few stories of success that don't involve a significant amount of difficulty and adversity. The road may be long, and there may be times when it feels like you're not making progress, but the breakthrough you've been waiting for is often just around the corner. The key is to not give up too soon. The hardest part is always at the beginning, when the vision is still unclear. The progress feels slow, and the results aren't immediately visible. But the moment you decide to persist, to keep showing up, is the moment when everything can start to change. There is power in continuing even when things aren't working out, because it's in those moments that you're building the endurance, the grit, and the character needed for long-term success. Success also requires the ability to adapt. The world is constantly changing, and the path that you thought was going to lead you to your goal may no longer be the right path. Sometimes you need to change course, reframe your strategy, or try a new approach. Sticking rigidly to a plan that isn't working is not perseverance, it's stubbornness. True success is the ability to adapt, to learn from your mistakes, and to adjust your approach as needed. When you encounter a roadblock, don't get discouraged, find a new route. When you face failure, don't see it as a permanent defeat, see it as a lesson. An opportunity to refine your approach and do better next time. The most successful people are those who embrace change, who see challenges as opportunities for growth, and who understand that the road to success is not about sticking to one path, but about finding the right path when things don't go as planned. And yet, despite all the challenges, despite all the setbacks and doubts, success is always possible. It's possible because success is not a matter of luck, but of determination. It's a matter of knowing that no matter how difficult the journey gets, you have within you the strength to keep moving forward. The path to success is not easy, but it is achievable for those who are willing to work for it, who are willing to face their fears, endure the setbacks, and keep pushing forward even when the road seems impossible. Success is not a destination, it's a journey. And the more you embrace the struggle, the more you will grow, learn, and ultimately achieve everything you've ever dreamed of. So keep going, keep pushing, because the path to success is tough, but it is also where your greatest growth and achievements lie. Never settle for mediocrity. It's easy to become comfortable with the status quo, to accept the idea that good enough is sufficient, but let me tell you, good enough is never enough when you have the potential to do great things. Mediocrity is the enemy of excellence. It's the silent killer of dreams, the quiet compromise that keeps you from becoming the person you are meant to be. Settling for mediocrity means accepting a life less than what you're capable of achieving. It means choosing comfort over challenge, safety over growth, and the familiar over the unknown. But greatness is never achieved through comfort. It's only achieved when you push beyond what's easy and go after what's extraordinary. Mediocrity is easy to fall into because it doesn't anything of you. It doesn't require you to stretch, to grow, or to step out of your comfort zone. It allows you to go through the motions to do just enough to get by. Mediocrity tells you to settle for the minimum, to meet the expectations of others without ever questioning them, to live a life of quiet resignation rather than ambition. It's a life of just okay, where you are not dissatisfied enough to change, but not fulfilled enough to feel alive. It's a place where your dreams are constantly put on the back burner, where your potential goes untapped, and where your life is dictated by the whims of circumstance rather than your own will. But the worst part of mediocrity is that it makes you believe it's enough. It convinces you that the bare minimum is sufficient. And that's when the real tragedy occurs. If you want to be great, you can never settle for mediocrity. You can never accept a life that is defined by the lowest common denominator, by the bare minimum of what you could be doing. You were not born to be ordinary. You were born with the capacity for greatness, for excellence, and for making an impact on the world. But in order to tap into that potential, you must be willing to push yourself beyond what is comfortable. You must refuse to let the temptation of mediocrity take hold. If you settle for less than your best, you rob yourself of the greatness you are capable of. People often mistake mediocrity for contentment. They think that because they have a roof over their heads, food on the table, and a steady job, they are somehow successful. But contentment and mediocrity are not the same thing. Contentment is a peaceful satisfaction with your life and appreciation for what you have achieved and the progress you've made. It's the ability to be grateful for what you have while still striving for more, to appreciate your journey without being content to stay where you are. Mediocrity, on the other hand, is settling for less than you're capable of. It's staying in a job you hate because it's comfortable, staying in a relationship that doesn't fulfill you because it's easy, or living a life of quiet desperation because you've convinced yourself that change is too hard. Mediocrity is settling for a life that is not your best life, a life that does not reflect your potential. Never forget that you are capable of so much more than mediocrity allows. You are capable of greatness, and greatness demands more from you. It demands discipline, it demands hard work, and it demands a willingness to step outside of what's comfortable. The pursuit of greatness is not for the faint of heart. It's not for those who are afraid to fail, afraid to face adversity, or afraid to face the unknown. It is for those who are willing to risk everything in the pursuit of their best life. Mediocrity tells you to play it safe. It tells you to settle for just enough and never aim higher. But if you listen to that voice, you'll find that your life becomes a series of missed opportunities of what if regret. Success is never achieved by those who settle for mediocrity. It's achieved by those who consistently push past their limits, who refuse to accept anything less than their best. The most successful people in the world are the ones who have learned to refuse to accept mediocrity at every turn. They are the ones who have learned to do more than what's required, to challenge themselves when others would give up, and to push through obstacles that would cause most people to quit. They don't just do what's necessary, they do what's extraordinary. They go above and beyond. And that's why they succeed. You must ask yourself every day, am I settling for mediocrity? Am I striving for excellence? Because the choice is yours. You can choose to put in the bare minimum, to do just enough to get by, to live a life that is good enough but not great. Or you can choose to challenge yourself, to push yourself to be better, to do better, to live better. The choice is yours. But know this, if you settle for mediocrity, you are choosing to live beneath your potential. And that is a choice that will haunt you for the rest of your life. Many people fall into the trap of mediocrity because they're afraid of failure. They fear the risk of putting in everything and still coming up short. But here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. Every successful person has failed, sometimes miserably, but it is their ability to get back up and keep moving forward that separates them from the rest. The fear of failure is what keeps people stuck in mediocrity. They're afraid to take risks, to push themselves beyond what is familiar and comfortable. But the reality is, success doesn't come from avoiding failure, it comes from embracing it, learning from it, and moving forward in spite of it. When you choose to never settle for mediocrity, you choose to face your fears head on. You choose to risk failure because you know that failure is not the end, it's just a lesson, a stepping stone on the path to greatness. You embrace the fact that you may fall along the way, but you also understand that falling doesn't define you. What defines you is your ability to get back up, to keep trying, to keep pushing forward, and to never settle for anything less than the best version of yourself. Mediocrity thrives in the comfort zone. It thrives when you stop challenging yourself, when you stop pushing the limits, when you stop striving for growth. But if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to face challenges that make you uneasy, that push you to your limits, that force you to grow. It is in those uncomfortable moments that the magic happens. It is when you step outside of your comfort zone that you discover your true potential, that you unlock your inner strength, and that you realize you are capable of more than you ever imagined. The greatest rewards in life go to those who refuse to settle for mediocrity. It's not the person who takes the easiest path, who does the least amount of work, or who follows the crowd. It's the person who dares to be different, who dares to dream big, who dares to put in the effort, the work, and the time necessary to achieve something exceptional. Success is for those who are willing to do what others won't, to work when others are resting, to sacrifice when others are indulging. It's for those who are willing to go the extra mile, to keep pushing even when the road gets tough, and to never, ever settle for mediocrity. The life you want is not a life that can be achieved by mediocrity. If you want to live a life of significance, a life that leaves a legacy, a life that makes a difference in the world, you must be willing to refuse mediocrity at every turn. Mediocrity may be easy, but it's a dead end. It may feel comfortable for a while, but it will eventually leave you feeling unfulfilled, unsatisfied, and regretful. On the other hand, excellence may be hard, but it is the only path that leads to true fulfillment. Excellence will demand everything from you, but in return, it will give you everything you've ever wanted. So ask yourself every day, are you willing to settle for mediocrity, or are you willing to strive for something greater? Never forget that you were born for more. You were born to do something extraordinary, to leave a mark on the world, and to live a life that is far beyond the ordinary. Refuse to settle. Challenge yourself to be better, to do better, to reach higher. And when the temptation to settle comes knocking at your door, answer with the strength to say no, because mediocrity is not your destiny. Greatness is. The power of belief and persistence cannot be overstated. It's not just a passing thought or a simple motivational phrase to lift your spirits when things are tough. It's a force, a driving energy that shapes the course of your life, your success, and your future. Belief is the foundation of everything you do. It's the silent, yet powerful force that propels you forward when all odds seem stacked against you. Without belief, you may have talent, you may have skills, but you will never fully tap into your potential. Belief is the spark that ignites your passion, fuels your motivation, and keeps you going even when the road is rough and the obstacles seem insurmountable. It doesn't matter how talented you are, how many connections you have, or how much experience you've gained along the way. If you don't believe in yourself and your abilities, you'll find yourself stuck in a cycle of doubt, fear, and hesitation. Success is often less about the circumstances and more about how much you trust in your own vision. You see, the mind is incredibly powerful. If you truly believe you can accomplish something, that belief will translate into action, perseverance, and a willingness to push through the hard times. But when you lack belief, you lose the motivation to take risks, to put in the hard work, and to keep going when things get tough. Belief, however, is not something that magically appears overnight. It is something you must nurture, grow, and strengthen every single day. It's a muscle that, like any other, needs to be trained and developed. It doesn't come from wishful thinking or a mere hope that things will get better. It comes from within, from knowing that no matter what happens, you have what it takes to rise up and meet any challenge that comes your way. The deeper your belief, the more unstoppable you become. You've likely heard stories of people who overcame incredible odds to achieve greatness, athletes who defied injury to win championships, entrepreneurs who went bankrupt several times before building successful companies, artists who were rejected countless times before their work was finally recognized. What you don't often hear in these stories, though, is that the one thing these individuals all had in common was an unshakable belief in themselves and their mission. They didn't let rejection stop them. They didn't let failure define them. They didn't let the noise of others' doubts drown out their own inner conviction. They believed in their dreams with such intensity that they were willing to do whatever it took to make them a reality. And when you have that kind of belief, the world doesn't stand a chance in keeping you from your goals.